Pat Freiermuth isn't just the Steelers' new rookie tight end. Pat Freiermuth now has taken up residency at the locker stall right next to Ben Roethlisberger. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Steelers. Comes your way bright and early every weekday morning. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer up daily shots of Penguins and Pirates right where you found this. Freiermuth, of course, was the team's second-round pick in the recent draft out of Penn State. Comes here with all kinds of pedigree. In the Steelers' minds, from everything I understand, he comes with first-round pedigree, meaning that that's the grade that they would have hung on him. He's impressive in all ways. He's got the size, he's got the agility, he's got the block, he's got the hunger to block with a passion. And, yeah, he can catch the football. He can really catch the football. Does he have elite, game-changing type speed? No, but he's a tight end. And I'll take the traits that I just listed for a tight end over anything that involves, getting deep downfield or whatever. The Steelers have plenty of guys to do that sort of thing. I'd like to see Freiermuth be the Steelers' starting tight end in 2021. And I'm going to cut off any potential rebuttals in this regard right here by saying I understand it won't actually happen. Doesn't mean I can't want it to happen. But I don't see a circumstance in which, barring injury, Freiermuth would beat out Eric Ebron in that role. But I'd like to see it happen. And I hope, maybe naively, but I hope that Mike Tomlin and the rest of the coaching staff are at least open-minded to it if this kid comes into Latrobe and does what a lot of people are expecting him to do. First and foremost, he blocks. If he blocks even a little bit, if he looks like he even cares about blocking, he's going to be not an upgrade, a dramatic, ridiculous upgrade over Ebron in that regard. And in this year of all years, where you need your quarterback to gain confidence in the people in front of him to block, with no Marquise Pouncey, no Alejandro Villanueva. Never mind what their play was last year. I'm talking about in the quarterback's head here. He had people in front of him he trusted. Now he has a bunch of new people and David DeCastro. Ben is the one who has to have that confidence in these guys, not me or you. Having a tight end on the field who can block, and that is, kind of part of the process of blocking, the tight end, would be a really, really, really big deal and a really welcome development for this offense. Now, if he can get off his block or go around his block and run some routes and catch some passes, that's great too. I want to see Ben protected first and foremost. I think we can all agree that that's paramount for this offense. Not just keeping Ben healthy, but also letting Ben feel comfortable dropping back and actually attempt some deep passes instead of leading the NFL in release time as he did in 2020 at 2.7 seconds because he was afraid for his life. That, to me, would be worthwhile on that front alone. Now, throw Najee Harris into it, and we're taking this to another level. I'm not drafting a running back in the first round and recommitting this whole scheme under Matt Canada and talking about wide zone blocking and this and that and other assignments and changes, and then putting Eric Ebron out there to ignore it. And I'm not even being rough on Ebron here. I'm not telling you anything I'm pretty sure he wouldn't tell you himself if he was, attached to some kind of machine. He has no interest in blocking. No investment in any part of it. And he never has. This isn't something new. He didn't have it in Indianapolis either. The Steelers didn't bring him here to block. They brought him here because he's a pretty good, and he actually is, a pretty good red zone tight end. He finds a way to make touchdowns. Even when he catches the ball short of the goal line, he finds a way to get in there. That's a skill. It's a welcome skill. It's a skill that can be put to use. But it doesn't have to be from a starting role. To me, the starting tight end of the Pittsburgh Steelers needs to take care of the quarterback and to facilitate the running game. This portion of Daily Shot of Steelers is brought to you by the personal injury law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly, and George, LGKG. They represent people who are hurt in car accidents, who need assistance with workers' comp, and who filed medical malpractice claims. The attorneys at LGKG have been AV rated. That's the highest rating a law firm can receive for legal ability and ethics in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. LGKG has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. You can learn more about them at lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. And he's impressive off the field, too, Pat Freiermuth is. Kind of has like a soldier-like mannerism about him, which is never a bad quality in a football player. That's kind of the football culture. And he says a lot of the right things. Here's a little bit of what he shared with us over the weekend at the rookie minicamp.
I love my fit. I think, it's perfect. I'm very happy that I'm here in Pittsburgh, and, the offense is awesome. I think it's very, complex, and, I think it's going to utilize, the talent that we have on this roster. And, from the first walkthrough today, it felt great. It felt, like I understand most that's going on.
Shared, well, as I led off this program, he's got the locker next to Ben. That, as the real diehard followers of the team will know from reading and hearing this sort of thing from people like me, is where Vance McDonald was. Vance McDonald was Ben's best friend on the roster. And Vance McDonald was getting up there and kind of on his last legs as a player this past season. In fact, he really didn't even intend to come back and play. It was a dedication to Ben that got him to come back, but it wasn't going to be for yet another season. There is no chance whatsoever that the locker next to Ben in his corner, and when I'm talking about lockers here, by the way, I'm referring to the South Side where they are most of the time, not at Heinz Field where they are once a week, just 10 times a year. There's no way that locker is assigned without talking to Ben. And that tells me that this kid made an impression on Ben, and that Ben, in turn, would like to see him become something meaningful to the Steelers in short order because, Ben's 39. He's not worried about what Pat Freiermuth is going to mean to the offense in 2027. And that gives me at least hope for my naive wish here. Let him prove it. I'm not being a weirdo here. Look, if Pat Freiermuth goes out in Latrobe and looks terrible and is dropping everything and can't pick up his blocking assignments or whatever, hey, you know what? Forget it. But I'm saying if he ends up being what the Steelers themselves clearly believe he is, by the grade they hung on him, then he's got to play. He's got to be the starter. Do not make decisions about who's on your football field based on A, their veteranosity, and B, how much they're getting paid. Put the best guys on the field. If that happens to be a child at tight end, so be it. Let's see how he holds up. Let's see. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But I can enter this process with a rooting interest, and I'm very much intending to do that. When we come back, just one question. Back. It's time for Just One Question, and today's comes from M. Connolly, who says, the Steelers always have a good plan like any other NFL team. There's going to be holes in areas where depth is weak. From a regular season standpoint, the Steelers are always competitive. Is the challenge now to find that next franchise quarterback? Well, I mean, it's part of it. It's part of it. Obviously, and you sound like you know your stuff here as it relates to the football team, the next challenge is to make the playoffs and succeed in them. When you're entering a season with a 39-year-old franchise quarterback and a mostly veteran roster, certainly the stars on the roster, especially on the defensive side, are veterans. Your thoughts aren't about, anything other than the game that's right in front of you. But yeah, I could see where, from the really, really big picture view, like looking from the moon down, you're going to feel a lot better. I'm going to feel a lot better. Heck, they're going to feel a lot better once that next quarterback is identified, and then in turn, there's confidence in them. So I could say to you right now, well, listen, that's Mason Rudolph. What if that's Mason Rudolph? Mason Rudolph could have, I'm just going to throw out a number. He could have like 20 straight terrific games in the NFL, and you still wouldn't get anybody to identify him as a franchise quarterback. That's just how this works. He's been branded. He was drafted in the third round. Never mind the Steelers having a first-round grade on him. He's been a backup for such a long time, and the one chance that he did get to be this team's starter didn't go well. Now, no one's going to attach any asterisks to that. The fact that he was injured significantly more than once in that season, that he had to go through all kinds of crap, including Myles Garrett making up racial accusations about him and everything else that came with that, he's not going to be viewed as that. But he might be the Steelers' choice. They might see things in him that you don't, that I don't. And he might be the guy. Or not. Or not. Or you can look at little clues along the way from this past draft, like Mike Tomlin's seeming flirtation with Justin Fields at Ohio State's Pro Day, and say, oh, see, they really were interested in this. If Fields had fallen, or maybe they were thinking about trading up to get him or whatever, even though all signs point very squarely to the Steelers having been set on Najee Harris 100% at where they were picking. You can find signs in that sort of thing. You can find signs in bringing Dwayne Haskins aboard. Why would you do that and have the young guy in the fold if you've already got your guy? Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It might be, as you say, the challenge. it might be the most important thing that they have to do in the next year and a half, to identify that player or to go out and find them. But where they're sitting right now, they not only don't have to do that, they can't do that. There won't be another draft until next year, obviously. You're not going to go and trade for one now. So what you got to do in this time is, win games and stuff, but also learn. Learn everything that you can about who you've got in the fold, including, I might add, Ben Roethlisberger, who's never said that this is going to be his final season. Learn everything that you can, work off experience, be patient. Be patient. I know Pittsburghers in general get really nervous about quarterbacks because of the big gap between Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger. But this generation of football is not what that one was. There are lots of quarterbacks available year after year after year. It's not the chore that it used to be. They'll get another one, and probably sooner rather than later. Thanks for the question. I appreciate that. Thanks to everybody for listening to Daily Shot of Steelers. We'll do another one tomorrow.
At Point Park University, in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh, they understand there's no substitute for real-world experience and career-building connections. Their innovative curriculum engages students with distinctive experiential learning opportunities. Point Park's pioneering co-op program empowers qualified students to work in full-time, paid positions with their corporate partners while earning college credits. Visit pointpark.edu/works to learn more. Career ready. That's the point. Point Park University.
Your front door, your car, your gym locker, your gun. Safety is a habit. Learn more about how to keep guns safe and secure. Visit projectchildsafe.org.